Let's get one thing straight right from the start. Vodka and gin are not interchangeable, not even close. The fundamental difference between these two clear spirits comes down to one simple concept: intention. Vodka's entire purpose, its very reason for being, is to be a neutral spirit. It is designed, through meticulous distillation and filtration, to be as close to pure ethanol and water as possible. It should have little to no discernible taste or aroma. Think of it as a blank canvas, a perfect, unassuming base that exists to let other ingredients in a drink shine. It's the ultimate team player, never trying to steal the spotlight. Gin, on the other hand, is all about personality. It is, by legal definition, a flavored spirit. While it begins its life as a neutral spirit very much like vodka, it undergoes a crucial second step, where it is infused with a bouquet of botanicals. The law of the land, or at least the law of gin, dictates that the most prominent of these botanicals must be juniper berries. It's that piney, slightly citrusy note that screams gin the moment you bring the glass to your nose. Gin is designed to stand out, to add complexity and character to a drink. It isn't a blank canvas, it's the blueprint for the final structure. So, when you smell them side by side, the difference is immediate and undeniable. One is clean, crisp, and almost watery on the nose, with maybe a faint hint of its base ingredient if you're really searching. The other is an aromatic explosion of pine, citrus, spice, and earth. Vodka's mission is subtractive, to remove as much flavor as possible. Gin's mission is additive, to build a complex and layered flavor profile upon a neutral foundation. One is designed to blend in seamlessly, while the other is built to be the star of the show, demanding your attention from the very first sip. This core philosophy dictates how each spirit behaves. When you mix vodka, you are adding alcohol content without significantly altering the flavor of your juice or soda. It's a ghost in the machine, providing the kick without the conversation. But when you mix gin, you're introducing a whole new set of flavors that will interact with, complement, and sometimes even challenge the other ingredients in your glass. Understanding this fundamental difference in purpose is the first and most important step in mastering these two titans of the spirit world. It's not just about what they are, but what they are meant to be. To truly understand a spirit, you have to look at how it's made. Now, vodka can be produced from just about any agricultural product that contains sugar or starch. We're talking grains like wheat, rye, and corn, but also less common things like potatoes, sugar beets, or even grapes. The process starts with fermentation, where yeast is introduced to this base mash to convert the sugars into alcohol. This creates a sort of low-alcohol wash or beer. The real magic, however, happens during distillation. The wash is heated in a still, and since alcohol evaporates at a lower temperature than water, the alcoholic vapor rises, is collected, and condensed back into a liquid. This distillation process is repeated multiple times, often 3, 5, or even more, to increase the purity and alcohol content. With each pass, more impurities and congeners, which are the chemical compounds that create flavor and aroma, are stripped away. After distillation, most vodka undergoes an extensive filtration process. It's often passed through activated charcoal, but producers also use quartz sand, silver, or even diamonds. The goal here is singular: to scrub the spirit clean, leaving behind nothing but pure, smooth, neutral alcohol, which is then diluted with water to its final bottling proof, typically around 40% alcohol by volume. It's a process of relentless purification. Gin's production starts in a nearly identical fashion. In fact, step 1 of making gin is essentially to make vodka. You need a highly pure, neutral-based spirit, usually distilled from grain. This spirit is then placed back into a still for a second round of distillation. But this time, it's not alone. A carefully selected blend of botanicals is introduced. While juniper is the mandatory headliner, gin makers, or gin smiths, use a wide array of other ingredients to create their unique recipes. Common players include coriander seeds for a touch of spice, angelica root for an earthy foundation, and citrus peels like lemon or orange for bright, zesty top notes. There are two primary ways to get those botanical flavors into the spirit. The first method is steeping, where the botanicals are soaked directly in the neutral spirit before it's redistilled, much like making a pot of tea. The second method is vapor infusion, where the botanicals are placed in a basket above the spirit inside the still. As the alcohol evaporates, the hot vapor passes through the basket, picking up the delicate aromatic oils from the botanicals before being condensed back into liquid gin. This method is often said to produce a lighter, more nuanced flavor. Either way, the result is a spirit defined by its added flavors, not the lack of them. Every spirit has a story, and the tales of vodka and gin are deeply rooted in the history of Eastern and Western Europe, respectively. Vodka's origins are hotly debated, with both Poland and Russia laying claim to its invention sometime in the Middle Ages. The name itself comes from the Slavic word voda, meaning water, with the ka added as an affectionate diminutive. So vodka literally means little water. Initially it was likely used for medicinal purposes but quickly became an integral part of social and cultural life in the region that would become known as the Vodka Belt. It was traditionally consumed neat, often at room temperature, and was a staple of life, from peasant tables to royal courts. Vodka remained largely a regional specialty for centuries. Its global journey really began after the Russian Revolution in 1917, when distillery owners fleeing the country took their recipes and knowledge with them, establishing brands in the West. However, it wasn't until the mid-20th century that vodka truly conquered America. Its neutral profile was marketed as a feature, not a bug. An advertising campaign famously declared that vodka would leave you breathless, implying no telltale alcohol on your breath. This, combined with the rise of cocktail culture and drinks like the Moscow Mule, transformed vodka from an obscure import into the dominant white spirit it is today. Gin's story begins in the 16th century Netherlands. A physician was attempting to create a medicinal tonic using juniper berries, which were believed to have therapeutic properties. The resulting spirit was called Genever. English soldiers fighting in the Dutch War of Independence discovered this Dutch courage and brought it back home to England. There, the spirit was shortened to gin, and its popularity exploded. During the 18th century, a period known as the gin craze, cheap, unregulated gin flooded London, leading to widespread social problems famously depicted in William Hogarth's engraving, Gin Lane. After this chaotic period, regulations were put in place, and gin began to evolve into a more refined product. The invention of the column still in the 19th century allowed for the creation of a cleaner, drier style of gin known as London Dry, which is the style most of us are familiar with today. This more sophisticated gin became the darling of the British Empire, and its pairing with quinine-laced tonic water, a concoction used to ward off malaria in the colonies, gave birth to the iconic gin and tonic. While vodka had its boom in the mid-20th century, gin has experienced a massive global renaissance in the 21st, driven by craft distillers experimenting with new and exciting botanical blends. In the world of cocktails, the choice between vodka and gin is a choice between two entirely different philosophies. Because of its neutrality, vodka is the ultimate mixer for drinks, where you want the other ingredients to be the heroes. Think about the classics. A screwdriver is all about the orange juice. A Bloody Mary is a celebration of tomato, spice, and savory flavors, and a Cosmopolitan is a showcase for cranberry and lime. In each case, vodka provides the alcoholic foundation without interfering. It's the reason vodka is often considered a beginner-friendly spirit for home bartending. It's forgiving and versatile. Gin, with its assertive botanical character, plays a very different role. It doesn't just support the other ingredients, it has a conversation with them. In a gin and tonic, the piney notes of the juniper beautifully complement the bitter quinine of the tonic. In a Negroni, gin's botanicals stand up to the bold flavors of Campari and sweet vermouth, creating a perfectly balanced, complex sipper. Cocktails like the Tom Collins or the French 75 are built around gin's aromatic structure. You don't use gin when you want to hide the spirit, you use it when you want the spirit to be an integral part of the final flavor profile. Nowhere is this difference more apparent than in the most iconic cocktail of all, the Martini. A classic Martini is made with gin, vermouth, and a garnish. The botanical complexity of the gin creates an aromatic, layered, and flavorful drink. A vodka Martini, on the other hand, swaps the gin for vodka. The result is a much crisper, cleaner, and more subtle cocktail. The flavor profile is driven almost entirely by the vermouth and the garnish, whether it's an olive or a lemon twist. Neither is right or wrong, but they are fundamentally different drinks. One is a showcase of botanical complexity, the other is a testament to crisp purity. Ultimately, the choice between vodka and gin often reflects a person's palate and what they're looking for in a drink. People who prefer vodka often appreciate its smoothness and mixability, enjoying cocktails where the alcohol taste is not prominent. It's seen as modern, clean, and universally adaptable. Gin drinkers, on the other hand, tend to be enthusiasts who seek out character and complexity. They enjoy dissecting the different botanical notes and appreciate how the spirit interacts with other flavors. In the end, one offers a clean slate, the other a complex story. The showdown isn't about which is better, but about which experience you want in your glass.